Hello viewers and welcome to a brand new episode of Real Woman with Nike Adeyemi. And of course you know me, I'm your host, Nike Adeyemi. Today we're going to be having a conversation more or less because I have a guest in the house, a young person who's, very dear to me, smart, spiritual. So welcome with me, Oriofe.
Thank you so much, Ma. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for joining me. It's always great, chatting with you. Today we're going to be talking about wisdom for young marriages. Wisdom for young marriages. As at now, I think you've been married about a year and a half, 15 months, kind of, and you're doing well. Not doing badly at all. And I've been married for donkey years, 28 years or whatever. So you can imagine the contrast. But we're going to have a great conversation. Don't go away. Call your friends. We'll be back right after this break. Tell them to tune into this station right now. And trust me, they will be blessed. Welcome back. Now we're talking today generally about young marriages, right? Wisdom for young marriages. And Oriofe is here in the house. What question do you want to ask me first?
Thank you for having me again once more. I did reach out to a few of my girlfriends before I came here, so
awesome.
I collected some questions from some other young wives.
That's wise. You don't want to do this alone.
No. That's. I mean, when I get to share a little light, that's one thing I would say. The community is extremely important.
Yeah.
But one of my girlfriends sent this question, and that's the first question I'll ask you. How can a spouse work at really being best friends with their partner?
How can a spouse work at being best friends?
And let me even add to that. Is it necessary for husband and wife to be best friend?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's this saying, we say marry your friend, and we hear that a lot, marry your friend, and I think it's best to marry your friend. Of course, you're not going to marry your enemy, but when we say marry your friend, we mean marry someone that you like, marry someone that you will get along with, okay? Marry someone, of course, there's the leading of God, but God will not lead you to marry your enemy. That's already settled. Marry your friend. But for those who probably they're in a marriage right now and they were not really friends before getting into marriage, because I believe that when some people see that phrase, sometimes they might feel like that we were not friends. How do we? So be friends before you get married. And if you were not intimate friends, it suddenly dawns on you that you were not really friendly like you should, it's never too late. It's never too late, because after all, a lot of us make new friends. So you may have had old friends, and then maybe just last week you met someone and you decide she should be your friend. Then you would begin to work on it. So make your spouse your friend. If you were not friends before you got married, be friends now. Today is the time to start. And if you were really extremely close before getting married, keep working on it. Don't take your spouse for granted. Don't say, we're friends. We were friends for some of you or some of us will say, we're friends for since middle school, high school, we're high school sweethearts or whatever. And then after 10 years of being friends, dating, whatever, then we eventually got married. So, and then you get married and you think that you shouldn't work on the friendship, because we've been friends forever. You have a long thing coming, Don't lose sight of friendship. For us women, friendship is, I think, a huge thing. For us women, for us girls, right from a young age, because it's usually women, it's usually girls that you find situations whereby you feel sad. Maybe when you are 5, 6, 7, 12 years old, you're sad over the fact that someone stopped being your friend. Oh, she said she won't play with me anymore. We're into stuff like that. It matters to us.
Even great discussion so far, but just to shed more light, who is a friend?
Now you're going there.
I am.
Now you're going there. Who is a friend? Wow. I don't know about the dictionary definition, but I mean, for me, what comes to mind is that person who is there for you.
Mm-hmm.
That person who you know, has your back, like they say. That person who loves you unconditionally. Can I go there? You know, a bit unconditionally. So
First
then,
Corinthians 13.
yes, who loves you unconditionally. I mean, we say God is the one that loves us unconditionally, ultimately. Followed closely by that could be parents, you know. And so that person that loves you, some people will say, oh, that person I can have fun with. You know, I don't care. That friend that, you know, so in that case, we have friends for different things. So introverts have friends, extroverts have friends. So if we're going down that road, if you're an introvert, for example, and you're female, this program is widely watched by female women and men to join in. So an introvert may say, I don't do the friend thing. I just have one. And even that one, she already knows that I don't call her. you know. But when you know the kind of person you are, your friend knows the kind of person you are, they accept you for who you are. They won't cut you off when they've not heard from you in a long time because they know that you're introverted or you're dealing with anxiety issues. If you have a friend that you know has anxiety issues or depression or whatever, it doesn't mean that they can't have friends. It just means that their friends knows how they are and will check in on them from time to time and will not be offended if they don't get maybe a response to their texts. They will be patient with them. So friendship is commitment. Friendship is at the deepest level. You said, you know what, this person is my friend. And Uriafe, you know a lot about that. Speaking to that, you know a lot about that. Because I don't want to, dominate the entire conversation. As we're talking, I just remembered that recently I was at your birthday. And my, there was one thing that her friends were saying one after the other. She was intentional. There was one that even said, we're in school, in college or whatever, and then she said, I want to be your friend. And then she was like, who is this person? No, she tried to shake you off and you continue to be persistent. One thing I know, you're an extrovert, so everyone can be that way. So who's a friend? Throw it back to you.
I mean, yes, ditto to everything you've said. I am challenged by what you said about deliberate friendships to maybe introverts. So my husband is kind of like an introvert in a way, which is a good balance. I don't think if I had another extrovert, it would just be too much going on. Too much. So we need a little bit of calm in the house, and he does provide that. I'll talk about different things quickly. When we've known since we were 14, so we've known since high school, and when we got married. But of course, throughout life, we've both built our different friendships. You
didn't know you'd get married.
It was definitely an adjustment trying to, even though we were friends, now really trying to grow into being best friends. And I can't lie, of course, because, I heard that once you marry, you have to marry your best friend, be your best friend. So I'm like, this person has to be my best friend. Now, what does my own best friend mean to me? Somebody that can allow me talk for 5 hours with no stop talking, because I love a good conversation. So, but he's just not that much of a talkative. He's a good conversationalist, but not that much of a talkative. So there was pressure. And I think, I've talked to so many of my girlfriends, newly married girls, and I know that they are in the same boat, kind of. So there's pressure. We go in and we want to really make our marriages and our spouses into this
and you
particular.
Might be too much.
It's too much. Not might be. It is too much. So if you're thinking like, is it too much? Sis, it is too much. Take it from me. So I had to calm down a bit and just allow him work in. And if there was, some friendships I felt like, maybe you need to be not let go of, but just reduce certain frequencies and all. But with time and God's wisdom and maturity, I understood that, just gradual reductions are better. And it's very, your point is very important in being the qualities of a good friend, even as outlined in the Bible, is very crucial to
be kind, be patient. So
yes.
friendship then means that it's not even all about you.
Mm-mm.
So in that 1 year of adjusting, because I know you did tell me that there's a lot of adjusting, you know, and all of that, it meant that in your mind, your own mind, your definition of a friend, because of the way you hang out with your girlfriend, means gist. But he was not this kind of person. So you had to adjust your ideology of friendship, which for me, I believe friendship differs from person to person. So if I have 4 friends, really good friends, say girlfriends, women, of course my husband is in a category of his own, but 1 or 2, I still have 1 or 2 women in my life that the one I call if I want to hang out. So my husband is my best friend, but he doesn't always want to hang out. So if he's busy and I'm less busy and he doesn't want to hang out, should I get angry?
No.
That friend that you call at the drop of a hat and is ready to go, let's have lunch, he says, where? All you have to say is where? It doesn't mean she's not busy, but she's ready because she's such a fun person. She's at the drop of a hat. Or that friend that likes to pray. The moment you just, before you even say, oh, I'm going to, what is it? Oh, Shandara Basaka. You know, that's another kind of friend. The friend that likes work. And when you say, hey, let's go watch a movie, she's like, seriously. When you want fun, you don't call that friend. So if she keeps saying no to lunch dates or no to just hanging out, don't say that she's not a friend. Why are you so dry? Why are you so drab? You need to understand that she's not wired that way. But if you say, hey, I'm trying to get through a proposal, she says, what's the topic? Give me 30 minutes, I'll get back to you. Pam, pam, pam. She's giving you, that is also a friend, but you've recognize what she's good at and what she's happy to do for you. That it's nothing at all to give you the topics for your proposal or to help you research, because she's a researcher and that is how she likes to love on her friends. Don't pull her into being a chatterbox and judge her by that.
Exactly. And to wrap this up, I'll just like to say, to just really put a final statement to all you're saying here is that you don't find everything in one human being. The only person you find everything in is God. So
even in your spouse,
exactly, it's the same logic. It's the same logic for your spouse. So the graces, and that's something that I understand. Like, I offer certain graces to my girlfriends. I can offer that grace to my husband. So I had to learn that because for whatever reason, I'm not perfect. I don't even try to be perfect. But somehow I was expecting perfection from him, which is so unfair, but I was guilty of that
too, trust me.
So, but I just have learned, and I'm still learning, that you don't find everything in one person. So if my husband can only give me 30 minutes of gisting time, I'll take it. And then I'll call, you know, my girlfriend for the remaining 45 minutes.
Hey, that's cool. So friends, we're still talking about young marriages, and it now seems like the topic is friendship. It's more like sounding like friendship in and outside marriage, something like that. Wow. Friends. So what I'm hearing you saying, or what I can see from what we've said so far is, 1, we shouldn't be controlling. Yep, we've got to go there. That seems like a harsh word. And then you're like, me controlling? No, I just want to gist. I just want to. When we try to impose ourselves on the other person, then it's low-key controlling. So I think that in young marriages and older marriages as well, keep studying your partner. Study your partner. You know, we say when you're single, I like to say when you're single, study about God. Of course, that takes, for me, that's a given, but I'll say it again, study God, find out about God, find out how he speaks to you, deepen your relationship with him, even as a single. Then 2, study yourself. Study this creature that God made. Study this amazing being. Study yourself. I mean, we study physics, pharmacy, law, all kinds of courses to study so we can succeed in life, but do we study ourselves?
Do we?
The one that is to execute, the one that study, discover yourself. It's not vain. Know what you like, know what you don't like. Know how you are wired, because how will you introduce yourself to the person you will marry?
Yeah.
How would you introduce yourself accurately to a friend? You know, cut the chase. It helps the journey easier if you meet someone and then you already know you're introverted. I don't know why I keep going on for introverts. Maybe I feel like they're the ones we need to help.
Spot.
I have a soft spot for them, even though I am a bit of an extrovert. I think I'm a mixture of both. When I'm with you, I'm extroverted because I also love a good conversation. But I also need my alone time to refuel and power to be able to go out there again. You know, but introverts are usually in that in, you know, and then levels. There's some that are intro, and there's some that are semi. So it's understanding yourself. Or, okay, say I'm an extrovert and I'm meeting you. You're an introvert or you're an extrovert. I don't even know what you are yet. And we decide to be friends. Hey, we meet in class or at work. And we kind of feel like, hey, you know, we could be friends. So apart from my name is this, my name is that, you already know my name, we work together. Okay, it's like, okay, let's have lunch, we have lunch. Okay, tell me a bit of, I would want to say, you know, I could be a bit, you know, don't mind if you call me, I don't pick, you know, I usually can't pick my calls, but what happens is I always call back. Or weekends is when I then go after my friends, those who have, you know, I'm giving a little bit so that you don't maybe get hurt in the process of expecting certain things only to not discover that, oh, okay. You know, because first day we could hit it off and be really chatty. And for the rest of the week, you're like, you send me a text, you don't hear anything. You're like, oh my God. And then I now let you tell you that I'm, you know, so I think letting each other know the much we know about ourselves helps, goes a long way. So study yourself. Don't be confused about who you are.
I do have another question for you. And it says, in a situation where finance is a challenge, how can the wife stay strong and supportive towards her spouse? So, and I'd mentioned this to you off camera earlier, that I wish I had the specific research pulled up here, but in general, millennials were earning way less when our parents were our age. Like, take into consideration inflation and everything, you were earning more than us on average at this age. So now we're trying to marry young, but the average, you know, 25 to 30-year-old man might not be there yet, you know, financially. And same as the woman, but in a situation where, you know, let's take the general view that the man is the provider, although in our generation, we bring a lot to the table as well. But in that case, where your husband is not there financially, how can you still be supportive, still be respectful to him, you know, through that financial challenge at the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, talking about millennials, which you are, and it's a very, very different generation from ours. And oh yes, she is a millennial. You're like 27, 20-ish, just turned 27. I mean, as at this time that we're airing this program. And yeah, and let me just first say you've done well.
Thank
you know, I always tell you you've done well for yourself. Even before you got married last year, you had your own business. You're still pursuing more academics. You know, you decided to drop your amazing job because you wanted to go solo and she had an amazing job and she dropped it because she wanted it to be in sync. You wanted it to be in sync with your personality. You know, some people don't have that luxury of dropping their jobs. Even if they don't like it, they stay there like, I need the money. And you needed the money, but I think you needed more of your being happy, you know, even if you weren't earning much and you were still single then, so you could still afford to, okay, you're only providing for yourself. So I watched you do that. You dropped your amazing accounting job. I said, I'm going to go into real estate. Before you went to real estate, you were doing this talk show, Real Fair Talks, you know, and stuff like that. And it wasn't bringing in much, YouTubing and all that, but you were happy.
It was.
Not everybody has that guts, courage, So I'll start from there. If you're happy with what you're doing and you're earning money, I think it will be easier on you as a wife supporting your husband who is not earning much yet, who is not able to provide a whole lot, or you are providing more, or maybe there's a stage where he's not even providing at all. So we want you to know that if he's not providing at all, it's temporary. Trust me. As long as he's not an abusive person, you didn't get into an abusive relationship, you didn't marry the wrong person, you know this is the person for you. You can't use that to judge. You can't use that to say, oops, oh my God, 2 years after the marriage, into the marriage, he's without a job. Oh my God, did I make a mistake? I always thought my spouse, my husband will be, my provider as well. You did not make a mistake. It's a phase that you're going through. So have joy in supporting. And I think that's why it's important for us to also enjoy what we do. But like I said, not all of us have that luxury of being in a job we enjoy. There's a season where you're in a job you don't enjoy, but you're earning the money and that money is needed. You just need to tell yourself how long you can still stay in that job. Some people say, do what you love, so you drop it. And then you earn nothing. Your spouse too is not earning anything. You will suffer, So better going through the suffering of being in a job you don't like for a season. It won't be forever, but give yourself a goal. Say, you know what, max 2 years or max 1 year. Then begin to build what you would like to do. By the side, begin to build what you like to do. And then when you can now drop that and focus fully on that. So why I'm saying this is that if you're in an unhappy job and you are the provider as the woman, you might be more unhappier for the fact that you feel that you are stuck in it, that you have to be in it because your spouse doesn't have a job, or he has a job or a business that is still young and he's still putting in, because when you're an entrepreneur, or you're starting a ministry and it's young, you put in, it's like foundation, okay? I studied to be an architect, so I know so much about that. You're pouring in the concrete, you're building the foundation. This is below the surface. We call it substructure. And it's nothing, nobody sees anything about, but you're pouring, but nothing is showing yet. It can be frustrating if you're not patient with yourself. So to be in that situation where your husband, your spouse, is in that phase where he can't bring in much yet, but you can see that he's trying, he's working hard, and it will eventually bloom. But you are now in this job that you don't like. You're making money. You might feel frustrated because you feel stuck, but you won't be stuck forever. So look for things to make you happy as well. Okay, when you are not working, maybe at the weekend or when you are off your shift or whatever, go out with him. If he doesn't take you out, take him out, okay? Because he doesn't have extra to, spend on you. Take him out, but you know what? Let's go have a drink and have a good time. Cozy up in the house, watch a movie, watch a documentary. Those little things that don't cost a lot, right? A little bit of popcorn by the side, and you have your movie night. Is that expensive? No. And take your mind sometimes off the fact that, you're stuck in this job. You're not stuck, but for now, you're there so you can provide for the family and save. Right?
So I do have to add on to this a question.
Yeah, please do.
So what happens, okay, the woman is stuck in the, or even if she's happy, let's even say she's happy in her job, but she's kind of married a man who is
laid back,
quote unquote,
lazy.
Well, I was going to say lazy, but I like how you said laid back. But,
laid back is not lazy because some people, their temperament is laid back. Yes, and it's not a bad thing.
No, let's call a spade a spade. In some situations, some men are lazy and they're very kind of satisfied. Okay, wifey is working and she loves her job. She's bringing in good amounts and all of that. As a wife in that situation, how can you, the focus now is on respect. So, and you know, men, when you say something more than twice, stop nagging. I don't want a nagging wife. So how can you, you know, not nag him, but try to push him? Like, of course, and I know the answer to everything is prayer.
Prayer.
But there is also a place for action.
Yeah.
So as a wife, how can you do that? And it's easier for women whose, you know, spouses have like big brothers or mentors who you can go to and that person can call them aside. But in situations where these women don't have that, and it's different. I think you've properly addressed a situation where the man is trying and it's just for a season, but where the man is not trying and it's not really looking like just a season.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 years
And
in,
it looks like
10
you're like
years in.
stuck in this lifestyle like forever. You're not seeing light at the end of the tunnel because he doesn't think he needs to push himself. I mean, life is more like good for him. And you feel this is so unfair. And you suddenly realize, maybe you didn't know that before you got married, that this is his philosophy. It's not looking bad. He doesn't feel any shame in it. It's not that you want to shame him. But you know, the earlier description of the man I described would even say, you know what, babe, please be patient with me. Exactly. I'm working hard. Trust me. I am going to provide for this family. You know, just keep praying for me, you know. But the one that says, as long as one person brings it, that's tough.
It's tough.
And my heart goes out to women like that. Because I know one or two women like that. They're even now in their 50s. There's even one that's 60, and that's been her life. Like, she's just accepted it. And she's finding joy. She's finding, you know, in her children, in being able to provide for them. They've gone to good schools, you know, so she's seen the fruit of her labor. And God has continually blessed her business.